Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As usual, I'm just going to give 1 minute to allow you guys to come in before we start the business of the day. Even as you guys keep coming in, just want to use this opportunity to say a shout out. How have you guys been? Those working at home remotely? How has it been? Those in the office, those on break? Hope everything is moving on smoothly. I can see from my list a couple of familiar names here. My attendees, you guys are welcome. Today is indeed a great day. Just give me a few minutes and I will tell you why it is a great day. Yeah, I think I'll just take it off from here, even as people keep joining us. Good afternoon once again and welcome. My name is Gagba Esehaya. For those of you that are joining us today, for the first time, I am a training coordinator with the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple Small Business Development Center helps small business start and grow. We offer free one-on-one consulting and a variety of low to no-cost webinars. We are proud to be part of the nationally accredited network of the Small Business Development Center, which has over 1,000 networks across the United States. You're here this afternoon for a webinar on QR code basics for entrepreneurs. A copy of the PowerPoint and a link to the recording will be sent to all the attendees. Viewing the webinar, all the attendees have been muted. However, we always encourage you guys to drop your questions on the Q&A or the chat box. Without further ado, please allow me to welcome my wonderful speaker, even as she takes over the floor for the presentation. Janice, you are welcome.
Well, thank you, Garba, and welcome everyone. We're so excited to host this webinar today at the Small Business Development Center with Temple University. As you can see by the title, it's QR Code Basics for Entrepreneurs. And as a small business owner, you are an entrepreneur. You're doing all of the hard work. My goal here today, with the help of Garba and my colleague Cassie Fly, is to help you understand the importance, where QR codes can be used the best, and how we can better assist you here at the Small Business Development Center. Okay, so our mission at the university is to help and provide small business owners with the knowledge needed to make smart decisions and to prosper. As Garba said, we are one of 1,000 SBDC centers across the United States and one of 14 centers in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you are joining us from outside of the Philadelphia area, there is a small business development center wherever you are in the state, and we can help you contact them if you need services. Many of our services, or I should say all of our services, are at no charge. One-on-one consulting, business education program, sharing resources, and webinars like we have today. We are funded federally by the Small Business Administration in the state of Pennsylvania, the Department of Community and Economic Development, Temple University, and the Fox School of Business. And this is me. I'm Janice Crile. I am the Digital Transformation Program Manager here at Temple University. Lots of experience of over nearly 30 years in working in the field of marketing. And you can ask me about anything when it pertains to our digital marketing services, not just QR codes that we're going to discuss today. And here's our agenda. We're going to talk about the introduction to QR codes. And in fact, I made the QR codes that are in this presentation using QR Code Monkey. If you have a QR code scanner on your phone, you can scan that right now, and it will take you to the Fox School of Business Small Business Development website. I'm going to discuss how we can do that as a small business owner, how to create a QR code, the next steps, and take your questions. If you do have questions during the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat, and Cassie and I will answer them for you. But first, what is a QR code? Well, you tell me. So what does QR stand for? Does it stand for quickly respond, quiz respondent, quiz replica, or quick response? If you just want to answer that, put it in the chat and tell me, what do you think QR code stands for? I'll give you a couple of moments. We hear that term all the time. Cassie, what are people telling us?
So far, we have 4 quick responses. So everyone seems to be in agreement.
Well, fantastic. And you are all correct. Quick response. QR code stands for quick response. I should have told you no Googling, but it sounds like you're on top of it. So QR code is quick response. So QR codes actually started in 1994 when a Canadian and Japanese-based auto manufacturer, Denso, started to put QR codes on the manufacturing parts so those on the assembly line could quickly scan them and move it forward in an automated process. QR codes really came into the mainstream when 2 major big box retailers started using them in 2011, and that is Macy's and Best Buy. So they were really the pioneers, and they originally used them to help people better understand products. So think about Best Buy, our electronics giant, especially in 2011, still had the majority of electronic sales across the US. And as consumers, we would still go to the big box stores to understand about laptops, flat screen TVs. 2011, just 11 years ago, were thicker than they are today. Any type of office supplies. So Best Buy and then Macy's started using quick response or QR codes. You can use quick response codes or QR codes in many different ways. And the whole idea is that it facilitates the sharing ideas, thoughts, and information. I was in Chipotle a week ago and saw they had a pamphlet there on the counter, and I picked it up. It's in Spanish, but you could, of course, scan the QR code to apply for a job. So one way a QR code is used here is to engage with a potential employee. And what we know is in 2021, so just last year, there were 75 million smartphone users that had QR code scanners in the United States alone. So, do you have a QR code reader on your smartphone? If not, I'm just going to take a minute to walk you through, because you can scan the QR codes that are used in this presentation. As Garba has mentioned, you will receive a copy of the presentation, and this is being recorded. So if you have a good old iPhone and you don't want or have an app downloaded, you can open the camera, select rear-facing camera, and the code will be scanned automatically. However, I think an easier way to do it is to download a QR code scanner from the App Store. They're free, and I'm just showing about 5 of them here on this slide, but there's numerous ones. The one that I use personally is the second one, the QR Reader utility. It works extremely well for just everyday needs, from scanning a menu to anything else. Now, if you have an Android phone, of course, a little bit different, but you can still use the camera app and swipe from the bottom of the screen to open that and use that to scan any QR code. So let's talk more about that QR code use and its growth, projected growth over the next few years. Currently, we were at 75.8 million smartphone users with a QR code scanner in 2021. And you can see the progression there. This year, it's estimated to be about 83.4 million users and up to nearly 100 users by 2025. So nearly double in a 5-year period. And one of the reasons we're seeing such this dramatic growth is because of the ease of use. And 40% or 45% of respondents reported using the QR code to access marketing and promotional offers. So why the big deal? So let's talk about how we can use that for your business and help your business to grow, to engage, and to prosper. You're probably all thinking, yes, I know it's growing. And the reason it has grown is due to the pandemic. A lot of marketing innovations have grown during the pandemic. And one of them that is still in use is restaurant menus. And this was done because we did not want to share germs. There was an end to printed menus, and we replaced either by a table card, a menu at the counter, or a QR code at the counter, an app, uploading the QR code scanner, scanning it at the window, ordering from the outside. There's still some restaurants that have chosen to use QR code scanners and have not used the printed material. Think about the advantages there. If you're a restaurant that likes to update or change their menu often, there's a daily special, a new soup every day, a QR code is perfect for this. So one of the common uses is replacing paper with a QR code. Another common use is for a product review, or even think of it as a service review. If you're a hairstylist and you'd like a review, one of the easiest ways is with a QR code. You could have a QR code printed and, at your stand, you could put a QR code on the back of your business card that then you can give a direct outlet to share. A QR code is also a controlled platform, unlike social media. So if you are asking for a review of any type, only you are going to see that review. So that if there is an issue, you can address it very quickly and very professionally, however, without others seeing it. You can also enact a QR code rating for quick interaction. So a scale of 1 to 5. How was this webinar today? And then you can quickly adjust and give me that feedback with a QR code. You can also give, if someone gives you a product or a service review, offer a discount on the next service or a coupon code for writing the review. So you're always interacting. Another growth area has been using a QR code for digital payment. This gives your customers a safe and easy payment method. When you create your QR code, you can decide what different payment methods you're going to accept. And this encourages that contactless payment interaction. For many businesses, especially in the Philadelphia area, we have where, there's still a lot of COVID protocols in place. And I feel that that's going to continue, unfortunately, over the next several months. Travel and eating in restaurants and interacting with fellow employees have changed a bit, but we're still seeing the need for contactless payment. And then one thing you can do with a QR code is registration. So whether it's for a webinar, it's for a 5K, it's for an event at your local organization, you can make registration, easier with a QR code. And if you happen to scan this code, this actually took you to the reservation page for today's event. And one of the things that I love is a QR code for business cards. After 2 years, I was at my first in-person conference the last week of April. And there were several people that had, rather than business cards, said, hey, just scan my business card here. And if you'd like, you could get my contact information by scanning this QR code. I customized this QR by putting the SBDC logo in the middle. You could also, if it's a personal business card, you could put your company's logo. You could put your picture on it so people can say, oh, I remember that lady. I remember that person, so that they could equate your face with your contact information. And another common use for a QR code is social media engagement. So you can add a QR code to your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever social media you're using. And that's going to pull people into not only your social media site, but you can then link it to an offer, to your website, or an engagement. Again, we want to capture that engagement. One of the most important things you also want to capture is contact information for people who you are servicing or you want to engage with. So encouraging an email interaction and locking in that email. This really does position your business as forward-thinking and innovative. So think of your target audience, and I'm going to show you in a minute where the continuum is on who's using a QR code. And right now, it's a little bit of everyone. You can also use a poster with a QR code. This can even be on mass transit. So if you've been on a man's bus, or you've even walked through the city and you've seen a bus shelter with a QR code on it. The example I have is a QR code inside of a picture up front of a department store. You can attract attention through these strong graphics and the QR codes, and they can offer a discount or a coupon. So if you want to draw someone into your place of business, maybe you're a restaurant and your offer on the outside of your window can be, scan this QR code and come in for a free appetizer during happy hour. Free appetizer with purchase of a drink. Whatever that might be, you can bring people into your place of business who might be just walking by. It can be a link to your website or just contact information. Any way that you want people to interact with you, and you making it simple. We're not asking people to grab their smartphone and to type in a web address. We're not asking them to download the app for your store just yet. But what we're asking them to do is just to grab that smartphone and to scan that QR code to bring it to that call to action. So I'm going to pause here for a second and think about everything we just talked about and ask, what ideas do you have for a QR code? And if anybody would like to put a couple of their ideas in the chat, feel free to do that right now. And then I'll pick back up here with our information. And Cassie, I'll ask you to share what anyone may be typing about their ideas for a QR code, please.
Yeah. So one was maybe for special orders. Another was I need to connect my website. I'm not sure which that one means, and certain web pages on the website.
Okay. Great.
Another one was Etsy tags for reviews. That's a good one.
That's great.
One I just thought of was maybe you have like a maintenance request and you need to send in a request. You could have a QR code that they can just put on their fridge, and when they need a maintenance request, they can scan it, and it takes them right to entering that maintenance request.
That's a fabulous idea, especially for if there's anyone in the webinar today that it's a service business.
Yeah.
Great idea.
One was communication for those viewing artwork to get to her. That's a good idea, just to connect. Put it on the bottom of like a piece of artwork. Easy. That's a great idea. Business card was another.
Absolutely.
Tara said, I like that idea as a resident. Yeah, I was thinking for like if you're in an apartment, or maybe you have an Airbnb, or you're renting out to someone, putting that QR code there is not used, I think, very often, but it would be very convenient. Regina said, I need a QR code so that people can scan and take people to a website or an event, maybe on the website. So it could maybe take them directly to an event on the website.
Those are all great ideas. Well, and I'm going to throw in a couple others. I was traveling last week, and from the time I got to the airport, I had to scan a QR code to park my car. I then had to, scan my QR code as my boarding pass. While I was in the airport, I scanned a QR code in a store just to better understand the local product. Scanned a QR code at a restaurant. I went to a baseball game early that week at Colorado Rockies game, and they had a charity raffle, and we scanned a QR code to donate to the charity. So lots and lots of interactions within the course of 24 hours that I probably used my QR code, I'm going to say 6 or 7 times. But let me show you some additional creative uses of QR codes. Clothing and merchandise. I love this one. So here's a personal trainer, whether he might be walking through the park, maybe he was conducting training in the park. He says, hey, I'm Brad, your personal trainer, book me. And right there on his t-shirt, you could scan the QR code. Very innovative. Love that idea. Another one, and I did use this while I was traveling, is it engaged consumers during the purchase. Scanning, having a unique product or service. With a QR code, you can explain the product story, tell buyers more about the brand. It was a local shop that I was in Colorado, and I was very interested in their brand and what they did to make it very sustainable. You can use a QR code to link to a user manual or an instruction manual. Think about that. If you sell a product where assembly is required, you can also use a QR code to build that customer engagement and ask for brand loyalty while they're in your place of business. And this is where we want to get. So whether you're an online retailer, you could have a QR code there, a service industry, a doctor's office, a physician, dentist, you can always, again, ask for that review with a QR code. So let me tell you why, and I think this graphic really hits home. So when we go back to Marketing 101, and you're all very successful and entrepreneurs are growing your business, knowing who your target audience is really relates to why a QR code is important. So a year ago, June 2021, Statista took this survey that looked at QR code uses in the United States by age group. And as you can see here, Millennials and Gen Z, over nearly 50% of all users, and even Gen X and baby boomers are using QR codes. So everyone are using them at some point, but we're going to see that 18 to 44-year-old age group, which is the heart of most companies' target audience when you're a B2C company, grow. But don't discount the use if you're a business to business. Business to business growth using a QR code is extremely important, especially when you think about the purchasing process and taking people to a digital catalog. Some of your ideas was taking people to a landing page on your website. If you do sell on Etsy, Amazon, any of those third-party vendor sites, you can have your own personalized QR code as well. And these are fantastic. These are customized QR codes for major companies, from UPS to Google. If you would scan any of these right now, it's going to take you to a marketing company who designed these. But there are ways for you to upload your own logo and design your own. So I'm going to talk about that. Any questions before I move forward?
So far, no questions.
Okay, great, thank you. So let's talk more about marketing usage, and then I'm going to wrap up the webinar with real-time QR code development apps that you can download for free. So with any marketing goal, whether it's creating a QR code or creating your entire plan, you have to have a goal in mind. You don't want to just create a QR code because Janice, Garba, and Cassie said this is a cool thing to do. It has to be part of your overall plans. And what I suggest is that you also research your competition. The easiest example here is if you do own a restaurant or manage a restaurant and you're not using QR codes, but the restaurant down the block is, or they have their menu that you can download from a QR code. You know, look at what your competition is doing. You don't want to do everything they're doing, but if they have some great ideas and you're not utilizing, by all means do that. You also can find inspiration from your direct mail pieces and more. So looking around, you know, from that bus stop to the restaurant to your mailbox. So in my mailbox, I've been saving some pieces that have QR codes on them. Direct mail still accounts for about 20% of all advertising budgets spent nationwide. So don't think of it as just junk mail. It is still very effective. Some of the really cool uses, I received a specialty catalog from a peanut company. And on the back, it was just a very small catalog because they said, order now, scan to shop. And it was their QR code. And that would take me to their full catalog. Another one I received was from a major retailer, Ann Taylor. If I scan the QR code, I receive a 15% discount. Ulta Cosmetics, another one. And then my local grocery store, which is a very large chain, had a very interesting one in store as well on the grocery cart and also on the direct mail flyer. And it's for cakes for the class of 22. So we're in the heart of graduation season. And if you can scan the QR code, you can order their graduation cakes and really any of their specialty cakes directly from your smartphone. So those were really cool and creative usage that you can find inspiration. Other things that we haven't quite talked about yet is that you can design that QR code to connect and then you fill in the blank. One area is to, for your Wi-Fi. Again, if you're a coffee shop, you're a hair salon, you're a doctor's office, you're a Airbnb, is Cassie's example. A QR code can connect you to their Wi-Fi. QR code. We've mentioned social media, but this is very, very strong. Someone had mentioned events, and absolutely, we want to scan a QR code that automatically will add an event to someone's calendar. Whether that's an art show, a marathon, any events, large or small, that you may be having to promote your business. And you can also create a QR code to send a preset text or email. So, you know, on your website or on your way out of a physical brick and mortar business, or on a business card, if they scan your QR code, maybe it says, "Thank you for your business. Come back again for a 10% off, a free appetizer, free shipping. Stop by." You know, I've seen some creative uses on real estate signage for, you know, QR code to register to attend an open house. So there's lots of different uses, and you can be as creative as you'd like to be. And here's a few more examples. Another t-shirt example. The one in the middle is contact information. And the one on the right side, as I'm looking at the screen, has a QR code on the back of Nutella, so you can learn more about that product. So let's talk for a minute about how to create a QR code. They're easier than you think. But what I want you to do is focus on quality over quantity. Start with 1 or 2 and try it. See how it works. Create that QR code with great content. It needs to offer value. It can be fun or entertaining. And it could be a call to action. And this is my favorite use of a QR code. Create that CTA, that call to action. Have that do something. Is it a review? Is it a discount? Is it connecting with you, offering their email, offering social media engagement? The QR code on this slide will take you to our digital transformation or our PadTep services if you needed to engage with us there. These are 4 of the top QR code generators, and 2 are free and 2 have a fee associated with them. I use QR Code Monkey, and this is the one that I use to create the QR codes in this presentation. It is completely free. And I'm going to actually show you how to do that. Another one of my favorites is QR Tiger, because this is both a QR code scanner and a generator that you can do on your smartphone. So when you create a QR code with QR Code Monkey, you can customize it, and there's 4 easy steps. The first step is you create your content. And some of you had asked or had come up, can you connect with a certain page on your website? This is where you choose your URL, your text, or your email. And then you can select from really about 10 or 20 different types of available options with QR Code Monkey. They can also connect to your social media from here. Second, you can customize your design. You don't have to. So if you just want the black and white QR code, you can skip this step. If you want to include your logo, you just upload it. You can have your image upload onto the site. Really very easy steps. Trust me, if I can do it, and I am not a techie, anyone can do this. Then you generate your QR code, and you want to scan it though to make sure that it's working properly. You want to make sure that it's high resolution. And then step 4, you download your image. You can set it as the graphic any way you want, and then save your work and use it on any type of material. So again, whether it's on your website, you want to use it on a poster, a postcard in your window, a link on your Etsy site, you can generate it with QR Code Monkey. Now, as I said, there's several different companies out there. I just found this one the easiest in doing my research. And I tried about, I'd say 8 different free sites, and this one did seem to work very well.
Janice, we have one question in the chat. And it was Laura. Laura asked, what are some security risks with using a QR code? We had a client chastise us for using them because of them, or because of that.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. What I've seen is that the security risk is very small. So think about it this way. If someone is scanning the QR code onto their phone, you're only doing it from people or businesses you interact with or trust, correct? So if you're the business, Laura, that has it, let's say going to a specific landing page on your website, as long as your website is secure, it's that HTTPS, then there's no risk to that person's website. That's a really unique question. So we probably should just make sure, however you're linking that it is, if you're going to your website, that your website is secure. That's the most important thing. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is if it is just a menu in your restaurant, that is a static, that's not taking anyone to a website. It's taking it to a static information that you've uploaded through step 1 here, the content. Does that make sense to everyone?
I'd also like to add something kind of building on what you just said. Yeah, there has been a lot of talk about that lately. And so maybe that's why that customer or client was upset about it. But Janice is right. Usually those codes those QR codes are not just randomly on the street. They're associated with your business. And so it's usually taking them to your business. Now, if I was walking down the sidewalk and I saw a QR code stuck on a light pole, I probably wouldn't do that because that could lead my phone to something that is hazardous or a security risk. But if it's at a business and it's going to your website and your website does have an SSL certificate, like Janice said, there is no danger really that we've seen. Technology changes every day, but we haven't seen that to be a big issue. So I think that, yeah, maybe the client was very upset, but because they've heard about it in the news, but it should be safe as long as your business website has that SSL certificate.
Yeah, excellent point, Cassie. Thank you very much. And for the next time, I love that feedback. I will add do some more research on the security and we'll add that to the presentation.
One other question, is it best to create a QR code from a computer, a desktop device, or a phone, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. You can do it whatever way is easier for you. I found it personally when I did the customized designs, doing it from a laptop or desktop was easier because you're pulling and uploading images. However, if you're really good in doing all of that from your smartphone, by all means, you can do that either way.
And then one other follow-up question was, what is an SSL certificate? SSL certificate is essentially whenever you have an SSL certificate with your site. Usually you might have it already paid for with your website or web platform that you have. And basically what it does is when someone types in their contact information, maybe they're typing in a contact form on your website or providing their email so they can sign up for a newsletter, that if you have an SSL certificate, then that information is encrypted. If you don't have an SSL certificate, then it's not encrypted. And usually you can check with the website platform or host that you have to see if that's already on your website. A quick, easy way to see if you have one or not is if you look by your URL, there's usually a lockbox or a warning sign, and it will be pretty obvious. You will see that warning sign by your URL, and that will let you know if you have one or if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Cassie. Great question. And if you're still unsure of that, as part of our services at the Digital Transformation Center of Excellence here at Temple University, we can do a free search engine optimization or SEO report for you so that we can review your website, look for that SSL certificate, and make sure that everything is working properly. We look at your title tags, your meta descriptions, your keywords, make sure that your social media is hooked to link to your website properly. Cassie and I and a team of 5 actually work through this center to help you do that. Other things that we can do for you are digital services. We can create or modify your website. We can help with your e-commerce, implement and modify any of your systems through our Digital Connect program. And you can also work with a consultant on digital marketing. All of our services are at no charge. And the way you would register for that through the Pennsylvania Digital Transformation and e-commerce program is by scanning this QR code. The QR code will bring up a form. You fill out the information. You do need to be a client of a small business development center. And if you're not currently a client, by scanning this QR code, it will take you to a page where you can register to become a client. Other services that we offer are individual consulting. So as an SBDC client, we can work one-on-one with you on any type of services, including digital marketing or developing a QR code. We do offer weekly training, and scanning this QR code will bring up our upcoming webinars between now and August. So if you are interested, feel free to scan this QR code. And lastly, you can contact us through a variety of sources. But I finished a few minutes early, so we have about 10 minutes. Do we have any other questions?
We do have one.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, how do you go about setting up private reviews on your QR code?
So you would have to have the reviews. So the QR code itself is private, and you decide where they go, whether they go to your landing page on a website or to an email address. You'll create that through the process. And that way they come to you, rather than if you could link them directly to, like, say, your Google My Business, your Google profile, or to a social media account, then they become public. So linking them directly to a URL or landing page, then they become private. But I'm going to let Garba go ahead and jump in here before people start leaving.
Janice, thank you for a wonderful presentation. Just a quick one. I just want to draw the attention of our wonderful attendees that I did posted a 30-second survey about today's webinar. We at Temple SBDC, we always cherish your feedbacks, even as it helps us to improve on the services we provide to you guys at a no cost. So kindly take 30 seconds of your time to fill out the survey I just posted. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Garba. And yes, those surveys are very important to us. They're the way that we can provide additional webinars in the future, knowing how well we're doing, and our funders support us based on the results of the survey. So any of your feedback is welcome.
Another question was, can you use QR codes to take a survey? And I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes. Now that takes more content. So you have to of course, know what you want to ask. QR Code Monkey, you can also use Survey Monkey, same company, to help develop those survey questions, but keep them brief. Just as Garba, our survey is takes less than 30 seconds to answer. So you want to make sure that you can do that as well.
And would you mind switching the slide back one? There was a few people who wanted to have our contact info. Perfect. That's how you can sign up and get in contact with us there through the QR code.
And Garba, we'll send out the presentation to all of you, so you will have the actual slides. If you don't have the scanner uploaded on your phone right now, you'll be able to do it after. But yes, please connect with us. Our turnaround usually, once we have your application, the next step is that Elena, one of our business consultants, will reach out to you to schedule a 30-minute consultation so that we completely understand your needs and can help move you forward in the process. Then with our social media audit, our SEO audit, or our website audit, the turnaround is typically 2 to 3 weeks. And for Digital Connect, which helps you to develop your website or makes changes to a website, that happens within 2 months. So we are very quick on getting all of this information to you with our team of professional consultants. And on our Digital Connect side, we actually work with faculty and students who create the websites for our clients.
I think we have a question from Rashida from the Q&A. And Rashida is asking, do you take on clients based in Delaware?
Based on what?
Rashida said, do you take on clients based in Delaware, as
in Delaware? Rashida, we do not. We are only Pennsylvania based, but you can go to the Delaware SBDC and they have very similar services. So if you just Google search Delaware SBDC, you will find an SBD center near you. Any other questions?
None from my end. And from the look of things, you have nailed all the questions that actually came up during the presentation. Yeah, well, I think Samantha.
Well, great. Well, it has been such a pleasure to be with you today to present this information. Thank you, Garba. Thank you, Cassie. Could never do it without you. And again, reach out to the Pennsylvania Digital Transformation and eCommerce program here at Temple University. We're here to service you and to help you with all your digital marketing needs. Thank you so much, and I hope to be talking with you all in the future.
Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye.